to Christy TV. For those of us that has been accusing Wike for his excessive land grabbing in Nigeria as a FCT minister, come close and hear this. The FCTA addresses accusers of FCT Minister Wike over excessive land grabbing. My correct people, dem no be small thing. The details of this is that they normally give the landowners 2 weeks to come and pay their C of O. No be small thing, my correct people dem, but is 2 weeks enough? Anyway, my correct people, make una hear from the horse's mouth. Abeg, as you dey watch this video, don't forget to drop your comment in the comment section when you finish watching. If you know say you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, wetin you dey wait for? Abeg, do wait to subscribe. Subscription na free, so that you will get notified whenever we post our latest content. Watch the rest of the video and don't forget to subscribe.
Distinguished members of the fourth estate of the realm, we want to once again welcome you this afternoon. The purpose of this meeting is to get you acquainted and briefed as to the outcome of the 11th ESCO meeting of the FCT. Incidentally, this happens to be the last meeting, the last ESCO meeting for the year 2024. As usual, we are very grateful. Each time we call upon you, you've always provided yourself and your services. The relationship we have built with you over the weeks and months is invaluable. We are extremely grateful. Today, at the end of our meeting, the ESCO meeting, under the watchful supervision and control of His Excellency, the Honorable Minister, some critical decisions were taken. Some secretariats presented memos, and these memos were still in furtherance of the determined effort of the Honorable Minister to ensure that the development of the federal capital is not compromised in any way. We have memos from the acting ES, we have memos from the Transport Secretariat, and then we'll have the Director of Lands to also brief us on some of the urgent issues concerning the recent decisions that have been taken by the Honorable Minister as it relates to land. Permit me to crave your indulgence to call on the Mandate Secretary for Transport to kickstart the process of brief. Thank you.
Thank you, members of the press. As you may recall, by 2018, the operations of the Abuja Rail Mass Transit took off into the first stage of Lot 1A and Lot 3. Now the trial stage by 2018. But by 2019, COVID broke out, and there was a major, like we all know, there was a major lockdown. And after COVID, post-COVID, there was serious vandalization of the 45 kilometers rail line with very expensive telecommunication cable, because it's a light rail, so almost everything is electronic. And so it prompted the FCT administration at the time, after having awarded a contract for rehabilitation of the vandalization running to billions of naira. And so there was need at the time to employ security companies, civil security companies, to be the lead security companies, of course, with the regular security companies playing a supporting role. So at that time in 2022, 2 security companies were awarded a contract, one for the Lot 1A, which is from Idu to Kubwa, and Lot 3, which is the rail line from Metro to the airport. So because of those contracts and those surveillances, the vandalization on the line dropped dramatically. And so the contract had just expired, and as you recall, we have started full commercial operations after the flag of May 2024. So there was need. We all know what's happening in the country, vandalization, left, right, and center. So there was need to also renew the contract for the security of the rail line, because this is expensive equipment that we're talking about here. And the Honorable Minister intends for the Abuja Rail Mass Transit to run completely and thoroughly all through his tenure and even forever, if it can, which is the plan, is to lay a solid foundation. So the contract is important for the security, because if one single cable is vandalized, it will distort the operations for a long time. So that is why it became imperative for the contract to be renewed between 2024 up to 2026. It's a 2-year cycle. And so that is what we arrived at, and ESCO approved the contract. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen of the press and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today at the 11th meeting of the FCT Executive Council, the FCTA presented a memo in respect of development of multi-event sports centers in the city. The FCT ESCO considered and awarded contracts for developing 2 multi-event centers at strategic locations in the city. These 2 sports centers have several sports facilities, football pitches, lawn tennis, table tennis, indoor sports facilities, and all other facilities necessary for sports, taking on sports. This is in line with the renewed hope agenda, particularly as it has to do with young people, youth development, and physical and mental well-being of the citizens of the city. And when fully developed, this will be available and open to all citizens to partake and to ensure that it is well utilized for the well-being of the people. 2 locations have been identified. These, when developed, everyone will know the locations of these places. Essentially, 2 companies are considered, and those 2 companies have been awarded the contract, and FCT Executive Committee considered and awarded those contracts. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Mine will be to touch on the burning issues of the moment in Abuja, which has attracted a lot of appeals from allottees of the Maitama 810 district. The publication that was made on the 19th of this month, December 2024, was to the effect that the allottees, those people granted plots in the district that were yet to pay their CFO bills, that their titles had been withdrawn. Yes, as you will recall, we made a publication in October asking all the allottees of Maitama, Cadastral Zone 810 district, who were yet to pay their RFO bills, as we call it, the CFO bills, to pay up. And they were given 2 weeks within which to do so, failing which the titles would be withdrawn. The 2 weeks elapsed. Some people still didn't pay. A further 1 week grace was given. Some people paid and others still refused to pay. And after some time, the administration took the decision to withdraw those titles. These monies are required to provide the infrastructure in those districts. There is no other place you get these monies except from the monies that will be paid by the allottees for that purpose. Lands are given to people. People complain that there are no infrastructure, but they don't want to fulfill their own obligations to the grants. So if you are given land and you don't do those things provided for in the terms and conditions of the grant of the RFO, the administration would have no choice but to withdraw those offers and give it to people who are ready to comply. So that was what the administration did. However, there were lots of appeal upon seeing the publication of the 19th of December, and the Honorable Minister graciously granted
He considered the plight of so many people. Considered the plight of people, the current economic situation in the country, and felt, okay, let me give these people another chance. And he approved an extension again of 2 weeks, within which everybody must pay the rights of occupancy bills attached to those allocations. The 2 weeks last final grace began on the 20th of December and will run through to the 3rd of January 2025. So I would think that any well-meaning allottee who really intends to develop his land and who believes in the development of the FCT would, between the 20th of December, when that publication for extension was made, up to the 3rd of January 2025, pay up any outstanding bills. So that is what I would say with regards to that, because I know that the public have been coming in, writing letters, making all calls to every official of the FCT regarding this. So I enjoin every allottee to take this opportunity and make sure all his or her obligations to the grant are fulfilled. Thank you very much. I would answer your question this way. You said, don't I think if the 2 weeks will not be short? I want to note that some of these allocations we are talking about were given in 2018. Some of them 2017. That's about 7 years, some 6, some 5. And it was stated clearly that this offer is being made to you subject to payment of so and so fees. And you accept the offer and say, I'm going to comply. 7 years later, you would not do so. Then the administration says, okay, we want to put infrastructure there. If you read the publication, the first publication made in October, it was clear what the money was, going to be used for, to put infrastructure in the district so that people who have paid and people who want to live there can move in there and live a good life. In Abuja, people complain, no, the road is bad, we don't have water, we don't have light. It is from this money that the infrastructure is provided. So if we've given people 7 years to pay, they did not pay, then we published, which we didn't have to anyway. In October, gave 2 weeks, they did not pay. Gave some time, then gave another 1 week grace, they did not pay. Then a withdrawal is made. And then out of the public outcry, the minister considered and graciously approved an extension of 2 weeks. Does that not show you that the administration means well? The administration wants you to own your land. Nobody is interested in any kind of thing that some people might be suspecting. If that is the situation, there was no need for even an advert in the first place. Then even if we did, that first 1 or 2 weeks would have sufficed. But there was another 1 week and then another 2 weeks. So it is not too short. It's actually very, very benevolent for the minister to do so. Then on the issue of the garnishee order, I wouldn't have the details here. We are talking of legal matters that figures are attached to. And I wouldn't want to tell you things that I'm not sure of. Yeah, there could be 1 or 2 things out there, but those will not affect the real functions of the FCT. The administration is committed to obeying court orders, and they've been doing so. So if there are garnishee orders, the processes will be followed. If they are going to be implemented, of course, they would. So I don't have the details of that here, but if you want that, the legal secretariat is there to provide you with all those.
Of the administration, the current administration in FCT, by the leave of the Honorable Minister, we want to also extend our gratitude to the press. The current minister has a mandate from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that mandate is simply to turn FCT around and to begin to revive a city with a dead, dilapidated infrastructure. It requires a lot. It's an enormous responsibility that the Honorable Minister has chosen to fight head-on. And of course, we know that it will come with a whole lot of criticisms and a whole lot of side talks and a whole lot of pull-down syndrome. But as you can see, the story 1 year down the line has shown some level of positivity. We are all residents of FCT and we know that this administration means well. The mandate of Mr. President is being pursued to the letter. Some might feel a little bit angry, some might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but in the overall interest of our people, are we achieving the result? And I want to say that the answer to that is in the affirmative. We are achieving the result. The Honorable Minister is determined, irrespective of all the crises and all the pet talks, to ensure that we reposition FCT, that he reposition FCT as a city of reference. I want to thank you for the relationship we have developed over the months and this past 1 year under the watch of the Honorable Minister. Today, ESCO witnessed the submission of over 7 memos, but in his characteristic manner, the Minister, being so meticulous, stood down some of the memos and sought deeper clarifications. And I'm sure as we reconvene back in January, some of these memos will be represented and we'll brief you accordingly. Thank you and wish you